Hello, 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 everyone. Come on in, come on in. I am just so excited that you are here this evening. Come on in and get on in the room. We want to make sure that your volume is working properly. If you can hear my voice, then that means that it is working. We're going to get started here in just another 30 seconds. And I'm just so happy, so excited for each and every one of you. And before you start thinking, I'm just going to let you know that the video and chat stuff, we've got that all taken care of for you. So you don't have to worry about any type of distractions or anything like that as we are going through all of this information. So you'll be able to see it all, hear it all, get all of the information. And we are about to get started here in just a moment. I'm just so happy, so excited that each and every one of you are here. And you were invited out this wonderful, wonderful evening. The holiday is coming up, but you came here to see and to get some fantastic information. As a matter of fact, my name is Sonora Dantzler, and I am coming to you live from Colorado Springs, and you are going to get some fabulous information. Now, before we do that, I'm just so happy and so excited, and please, please help me to welcome this gentleman right here is a true leader, and he lives and breathes success. Now, this gentleman right here, guys, he is an accomplished author. He has penned not one, but two powerful books. The first one is On Purpose. The second one is The Invisible Wall, which he has had such significant impact on countless professionals. Not only that, but he is in the Millionaires Club. He is a $200,000 ring earner, a phenomenal trainer, a mentor, someone who not only knows a lot, but more importantly, he loves to help people. Not only is he also a trusted advisor, a great leader, someone that I am so proud, so honored to call my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a massive welcome to the one and the only Mr. Jim Tanner. Mr. Tanner, go ahead and take it away.
Sonora Danzler, thank you very much. I appreciate that great introduction and kicking us all off tonight. I am truly excited to be here with all of you. We're going to be here for a very brief time, so I'm going to get into this information quickly. But before I do, I just want to thank Sonora again. You know, she's not going to brag about herself, but this is someone who's a leader in our business, helping expand this company internationally. We're grateful for what you do in your home market of Colorado Springs, Colorado, but we're equally grateful for the way you help people across the United States and Canada. So I appreciate your mentorship. And we're going to talk tonight about some of the incredible mentors that we all get here in this business. And for those of you that are coming as guests tonight, as invited guests, I am so excited that I get to share with you what I saw for the first time 21 years ago. Now, spoiler alert, when I saw this, I said, yeah, I'm in. I've got to be a part of this because it just flat out made sense to me. But also, I should share with you, I'm going to talk about our company's flagship product tonight. I saw that a full 10 years, signed up for it a full 10 years, a decade before I saw the opportunity. Now, that's going to make sense as I do this presentation quickly, but I just want you to know when I saw what I'm going to share with you tonight, I was searching. I was open. See, I had been born and raised in a little town, Rutland, Vermont. If you're not in the New England area, you've never heard of it, but a little place on the little dot on the map that no one's ever heard of. And I was living a small town rural existence. And I had a full-time job. I was delivering furniture and appliances during the day, barely able to pay my bills because I just wasn't making enough money. So I had the great idea to go get another job, work part-time somewhere else. Some of you probably tried to solve your problems that way yourselves. And so that's what I was doing. I was working and commuting 80 hours a week, two jobs plus the driving around. I was super busy. Some of you are here tonight. You said to your friend, listen, I'll come because you're my friend, but I am too busy. I was too busy. What you're going to see tonight is the perfect business for the busiest people. And so I can't wait to show it to you. But for those of you that are searchers, that you are open-minded, that you're ready for what's next, and you're just here tonight to see if this is what's next, this could be the story of your opportunity. of your independence. And let's really start with how we all got here. In 2020, the world shifted under our feet, and a lot has changed since then. What used to be considered secure, like a in the United States, like a government job, all of a sudden that's become very insecure. And in those early days of COVID, so many of you had this experience for the first time of working remotely. Like you were asked to stay home, right? We were all asked to stay home. Well, at that point, I'd been working remotely for 15 years, working from home, creating my own schedule. But for some of you, that was the first time you had that experience. And at first, seemed pretty good, didn't it? I mean, think about what you got out of it. You traded in the commute and the office politics. All of a sudden, the commute was from your bedroom to your kitchen table. The politics of the office were a distant memory. And a lot of people were really enjoying that experience. I think about the people I talked to today that said, yeah, that made sense because I could get my work done, but I could also take care of my family. Like I could see the kids off to school in the morning. I could be there when they came back from school in the afternoon. They could handle their responsibilities, take care of their own aging adult parents and all the things that mattered and still be able to get their work done. But it didn't take very long for that to kind of go sideways, right? Because all of a sudden the bosses that were involved in those remote opportunities became micromanagers. What did they do? They started monitoring your keyboard and your mouse movements. They started scheduling you for Zoom meetings all day long to prove that you were working, which is ironically keeping you from doing the work you were trying to prove you were doing. So folks didn't really like that. And what people have realized is it's great to work from home, but if your name's not above the door, you're building someone else's dream. So people today, they want business ownership. They want to be the boss, right? And I think that's probably why some of you accepted the invitation to be here with us tonight, to look at alternatives. But for some of you that would like to be the boss, you've also realized, like so many people did, that there's a lot of risk in traditional brick and mortar business. And most people don't want to gamble their family's future in hopes of creating a business today. They don't want the baggage of a location and employees and hiring and firing and insurance and all of the risk that goes with that. So what's happening? People are joining us. They're coming into this home-based business space. What they're doing is they're trading in micromanagers for mentors. They're trading in bosses for coaches. They're trading in glass ceilings for open skies. So if that's you, I'm glad you're here with us tonight, but I just want you to know that a good business plan has to have these things in place. Without all three of these in place, you're going to struggle. First of all, you got to have a great opportunity. You got to have the right company, outstanding products. I'm going to show you all that tonight. And compensation has to be a win-win, right? It has to make sense for you. But that's not the only thing. As I said before, you have to have a solution for busy people. See, busy people need a system, not a project. That's what I realized when I got involved. And this company has a proven success system, a system that continues to produce results that are forecastable over and over again. And then a community. And probably the most overlooked piece of this, I'm going to share with you the voices of some of my business partners tonight. But this community, this is the most overlooked component of it. Because listen, if tonight you decided I'm going to start a pizza place in my own hometown, wherever you live, if that was your choice, do you know that the minute you do that, you immediately become the competition of every other pizza shop owner in town, every other restaurant owner in town? Are they going to share their best practices with you? Recipes? Give you their customer list? Of course not. But in our community, you get leaders and mentors, big thinkers, and true business partners that want to show you the way. And let's go back to my story because some of you might be able to relate to this story, why I couldn't get ahead, right? So Jim Tanner, living in Rutland, Vermont. And again, today I make my home in the suburbs of Boston, Massachusetts, for those of you that know the area, Framingham, Mass. But 21 years ago, when I joined this company, frustrated that I had a full-time job and a part-time job and I couldn't get ahead, well, it was because of linear income. I didn't know that at the time because I didn't understand. No one had taught me this in school. I was able to go through all my entire school career and never hear about these different types of income. I only knew about trading time for money. And the problem with that is you can't get ahead trading time for money. It's a good place to start. It's a terrible place to end up. And that in the situation I was in, the issue was I was also doing it at the minimum wage. So that's not ideal either. But the challenge is actually a challenge at every salary level. For example, The pilot that's going to fly me on my next trip is only going to get paid while they're flying the plane. There's limits to linear income. Your dentist only gets paid when their hands are in somebody's mouth. There's limits, even at the high end, to linear income, right? So what else is there? Well, there, as you see on the screen, there's leveraged income. This is where you collaborate with other people, where you work together in tandem and then more. And when you do that, I'm going to show you how we do that in this business. You get to take your income from addition to multiplication. And for many people, what they've been able to do with this business model is completely disconnect time from money. And then there's residual income. See, with our flagship products that I'm going to show you tonight, our company not only pays us right away, but then pays us ongoing residual income for the lifetime of every membership. Here's what that means. The gentleman that signed me up for a Legal Shield membership 30 years ago, he spent 15 minutes with me. He came by where I worked, asked if he could show it to me. I said yes, because I was on my lunch break. He spent 15 minutes showing me the plan and signing me up. I never saw him again, except for that one time when he signed me up. Now I'm grateful for him. I'll tell some stories about how I've used my plans over the years. But here's the point. He's been getting paid an ongoing monthly residual income for the last 30 years because I would never be without this membership. Folks, before I go any further, and we're only going to be together for a few more minutes, but before I go any further, let me ask you this. What are you getting paid on right now that you did 30 years ago? And if you don't like the answer to that question currently, it's no problem. Just stick with me. Some of you are saying, I wasn't even born 30 years ago. I get it. I understand. So we're going to go through these 5 areas. We're going to evaluate the company, the product, whether or not there's a need in the marketplace, the compensation, and the timing. And it's going to go by very quickly. So I want you to write down your notes, because if you have any questions, I'm going to explain to you exactly how to get your questions answered when I wrap up. Because I know I'm talking quickly. I want to respect everybody's time. Different people have seen some of this information already. So I don't want to go too deep into the woods or the weeds with anybody, but I do want to get you this information. And I want to start with the story of our founder, because this is our company story. Harlan Stonecipher, pictured here. Now, he's no longer with us today, but you can see in the picture next to his photo is a picture of a car accident. We like to say that this company started by accident. And here's that story. See, Harlan Stonecipher, he was a school teacher in rural Oklahoma. And to supplement his income, he also had a life insurance business on the side. And one day he was traveling down a rural Oklahoma highway where he was involved in this car accident. In his autobiography, he talks about this accident and then kind of the reflection he took after it. See, he was sitting in the hospital taking inventory of his situation. Now, as you can see on the screen, his car was destroyed. And in his book, he said, the car is destroyed, but I have car insurance. I'll get another car. He was accumulating, racking up bills in the hospital, but he wasn't worried about it because he had health insurance for his time in the hospital getting better. He even, as he said in the book, he even had life insurance. Had he not survived the crash, his family would have been protected. But the one eventuality he did not foresee, thus he didn't have any protection in place for, was the rest of the story. See, the driver of that other vehicle that was deemed at fault by the highway patrol that hit and nearly killed Mr. Stonecipher also sued Mr. Stonecipher. And the Stonecipher family had to drain their life savings to defend that frivolous lawsuit. And so Harlan Stonecipher said, again in his book, he sat in that hospital, he said, there must be something that I had overlooked that I could put in place, that I could have protected my family from this. But the reality was, as he searched, he realized it just didn't exist. So Harlan Stonecipher did what so few people would do. As a visionary leader, he decided to change everything. And this is our company today. Now 53 years in business. That's our home office headquarters in Ada, Oklahoma. Today, we protect 4.5 million people. That's your friends and neighbors. That's business owners in your community and the employees of those businesses. That's commercial truck drivers in your community as well. And here's what we do. We have 700 employees that walk through those doors every day to see through our vision that Harlan Stonecipher set for us to provide equal access to liberty, equality, opportunity, and justice that every human deserves. Now, those are bold words. That's a bold statement, a bold vision. But from Harlan Stonecipher's kitchen table, he started a company that today protects millions of people. Folks, if you walked by a restaurant in your town tonight and there was a line to get in outside of the door, if that line extended into the street, down the sidewalk and around the block, people waiting to get into that restaurant, you wouldn't wonder how good the food is in that restaurant. That's the situation we're in. We've got millions of customers, and they love being members of this service. Now, you may have never heard of me before tonight. You've accepted this invitation. You've never heard of our company, but we've been written up in Forbes, CNBC, Yahoo, Bloomberg. USA Today said it sounds like healthcare before it became $1 trillion industry. And Harlan Stonecipher took this idea and he took it to the American Stock Exchange, to the NASDAQ, to the New York Stock Exchange. And then eventually, when he was in later years in ill health, our company was acquired by MidOcean Partners for $650 million. See, some of you tonight are saying, well, after this presentation, I'm going to have to Google this and make sure that it's all good and legitimate. I can promise you this. MidOcean, before they wrote that check for $650 million, absolutely made sure. They talked to us in the field. They talked to every one of those employees in the home office. They pulled every document out of every filing cabinet. And it turned out to be a fantastic investment because only a handful of years later, they had fully recouped that investment. And today, this company is a multi-billion-dollar company and growing continuously into the future. And here's how we did it. And here's how we continue to do it. Through something called disruptive innovation. It's where you take something that already exists, you make it simpler, easier, and more affordable. Like we used to shop at the mall, right? I mean, before the mall was just pickleball courts, we had the mall and we would shop at the mall. That was kind of part of the Americana. And, or we'd go to stores around the community looking for the right product at the right price, right size, all of that. We did that, but we don't do it today because we had a revolution with the internet and then a revolution that came on top of that revolution with the smartphone. The smartphone now, see, we would leave our house realizing our wallet or our purse was on the kitchen counter and just go on with our day, no problem. But if our phone was on the kitchen counter, we'd go home for it, right? Because it's the remote control to our lives. So what did Amazon do? They didn't invent retail. They put it on your phone. They made it simpler, easier, and more affordable. Now you get whatever you need at the price that's right, and it shows up on your doorstep 48 hours later, 24 hours later, the same day in a lot of communities. And then there's music, right? We all have streaming services today. We used to buy CDs, go to the record store, and I think we all love that. I love going to the record store today. I'll go to an old record store and flip through the albums. I love looking at the cover art. I love discovering new artists. I'll bet you do too. But what was the limits of audio is taking the physical media with you. So all of that has been removed because of Spotify, Amazon Music, and other services like that. You don't have to carry the discs or the cassettes or the 8 tracks for some of us or the albums. We can have everything we want to listen to whenever we want to listen to it at the touch of a button. That's what disruptive innovation is. And that's what Legal Shield has done too. They've given people access to their rights at the touch of a button. And in many ways, giving people access to their voice and advocacy from experts that they've never enjoyed before. Because the fact is, ladies and gentlemen, at $200, $300, $400, $500 an hour for an attorney, most people will think very hard before they try to get access to justice. And Legal Shield has leveled the playing field. I'm just going to share with you our preferred legal plan tonight. We have other plans in place, but I want to talk to you first about the price. I'm going to go quickly. I just want you to know what the price is. $37.95 a month for a subscription to Legal Shield preferred. Now, I wanted to make sure I started with the price because I'm going to share with you what it does, and I don't want you thinking it's $500 a month, and then you stop listening to me and think, well, I'm not going to be able to do that, right? $37.95 a month covers you and your spouse and your dependents. We're talking about for the whole family, coverage, peace of mind, for about the price of a cup of coffee a day. And now there's a whole bunch of bullets on the screen, folks, but here's what I want you to do for me real quick. Imagine the only bullet exists is the first one, consultation. And stay with me here for a second, because I submit to you, and remember, I've had this service for 30 years. I submit to you tonight that if the only thing I had to offer at $37.95 a month for you and your whole family was unlimited consultation, being able to talk to an attorney that's an expert in the area of law that you need expertise in whenever you have a question, not Googling it, not asking ChatGPT, not asking your cousin who's not a lawyer, not asking your cousin who is a lawyer but is the wrong kind of lawyer, because just like every doctor doesn't practice every area of medicine, every attorney doesn't practice every area of law, and definitely not sticking your head in the sand hoping your small legal problem will go away, because you know that that's not what happens. Small legal problems ignored become big legal problems. What if the alternative was you always know where you stand, you always know where your rights are, and you always know what to do next because you can talk to an expert anytime? Folks, because we're here to talk about the opportunity tonight, I just want to make sure that that's crystal clear to you, because if that was the entire offering, the opportunity would be sound. But it's not the whole story. Because on top of that, you have letters and phone calls made by your attorneys when someone's not doing the right thing. So you might have a big box store that won't honor a return, a jewelry store that lost a piece of jewelry and then doesn't want to fess up to it, a dry cleaner that's looking the other way, a mechanic that doesn't want to do the right thing, an insurance company that won't return your calls or pay your claim, a school board that's not listening. All of a sudden, your attorney sends a letter. Everybody's listening. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about having documents reviewed before you sign them. Because every document that's put in front of you, this is the same access to the justice system that the wealthiest enjoy. They don't sign documents that haven't been reviewed by their attorney. But you and I are expected to do that every day. But what if instead of doing that, the same documents that are prepared by someone else's attorney and put in front of us, and we're supposed to hope that it's okay and sign it anyway? That might be buying a car, renting an apartment, joining a gym, getting a new cell phone, or any of the millions of things we sign or click agree on. What if you could have your attorneys review it first? What about residential loan document review and tenant leases? I'm going to show you some more stuff, but you know what? You're already thinking, Jim, what kind of attorneys am I getting that are going to do all of this for $1 a day, right? I'm sure you're more skeptical than ever. But I just want you to realize it's pretty obvious. See, it's not your dollar or my dollar. It's the combined buying power of millions of members. As a matter of fact, in the last 12 months, we've paid our law firms over $100 million. That means you're getting VIP service. They're rolling out the red carpet whenever you need them. And also, you get will preparation. See, tonight, statistically, 80% of this audience doesn't have their will done. And I don't want you to feel bad about that. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand, but I know why, because it's cumbersome, it's confusing, it's expensive, it's intimidating, right? Just the idea of how do you even get started? And if you're going to choose between making your mortgage payment and getting your will done, you're going to choose your mortgage payment every time. Our Legal Shield members don't have to think like that because your will is part of the package. So if you walked into this presentation tonight without your will done, congratulations. We're going to be able to get that done for you at no additional cost outside of the membership. That includes the durable power of attorney, your living will. Folks, that's powerful. And in this preferred plan, see, let me speak to the 20% of you that statistically have gotten your will done. That 20%, although that's a responsible thing you did, and congratulations, typically treat it like it's a once-in-a-lifetime event. But hear me out. Every time you buy a house or sell a house, buy a car, sell a car, get married, get divorced, have a kid, have a grandkid, start a new job, retire, all those life events, right? Those are really triggers to have those documents reviewed and updated. And even if you have the most boring year of your life, think about this. Somewhere in your state legislature or province in Canada, they're fiddling around with the laws, which means it would be a good idea to have your attorneys review everything again anyway. Now, that's part of this preferred legal plan, includes annual updates. How about this? Traffic ticket assistance, the power to choose to have an attorney represent you in traffic court. Maybe you get that ticket going to the grocery store not too far from the house. Maybe you get it all the way across the country on vacation, but either way, you're covered by a nationwide network of attorneys, which means that wherever the ticket happens, you can have an attorney represent you in traffic court. Property damage assistance, unlimited e-signatures, and then a whole package of things that we look at it like this. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, like uncontested name change, minor child adoption, pre and post nuptial preparation, uncontested civil annulment and separation, uncontested divorce. But what about trial defense? Folks, who's suing who in America? Everybody. I mean, people treat it like it's the Powerball, like this, they're just waiting for an opportunity to sue you. What about this? What about the next time somebody thinks like that, they have to consider this, that they're going to pay their attorney by the hour, $200, $300, $400, $500 an hour. They're going to have to pay their attorney, and yours is already paid for. You think that might change a few things? That's the power of this Legal Shield membership. When the IRS comes calling, you've got coverage. And how about 24/7 emergency access to our attorneys? This is incredible service. When I say VIP red carpet, I'm talking about a level of service you can't get just by knowing an attorney or some attorneys or even being wealthy. I submit to you that the wealthiest people in this nation can't get this level of service, to have the attorneys sleeping with their cell phones on call 24 hours a day for emergencies for you. That means that if you're in a situation, an emergency legal situation after hours, you're never going to have to wait for the law firm to open the next morning. You're covered 24/7. I want you to think about the peace of mind of that. Those of you that have kids and grandkids going off to college for the first time this year, good kid, wrong place, wrong time. Our members have their kids and grandkids have this app on their phone, and they're taught to hit that red button without delay in every situation. Online notarization. And I'm going to talk about member perks in a second, but our other flagship product is called ID Shield. Let me just touch on this quickly because I want to get into the compensation for you as well. But ID Shield is powerful because 30,000 people a day become identity theft victims. And folks, identity here does not mean your credit score. I mean, your credit score is a part of your identity for sure. But what I'm talking about is your good name in the community. I'm talking about your brand in the marketplace. Folks, I'm talking about what people say about you when you are not in the room. That's your identity. Think about what you can do with your identity. You can travel across straight lines. You can get on an airplane. You can buy and sell houses, right? Your identity is incredibly valuable, and that's why the thieves want it. So ID Shield is the best in class because it gives you the most robust monitoring that you're ever going to get, including social media reputation management, putting the power of your good name on social media back in your hands, taking it out of the hands of the social networks. Now, all of those features can be accessed on a mobile app for you, as well as giving you access to experts when you need them, which includes full service restoration. Now, some of you, I just want to pause here for 1 second because I want to say something, and I want you to hear me with all grace and candor. Some of you are coming into what I'm saying right now, and you're saying, "I think I've got that on my homeowner's insurance. I think my bank gave me that on my bank account. I think my credit card does that." No, they don't, folks. No, they do not. What you have is not this, because what we're talking about is licensed fraud investigators that are experts that stand ready to support you. And here's what they do. It's right on the screen. They will go back and they will do full service restoration on your identity theft issue, returning your identity to the pre-theft status. They're going to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to restore your identity. And that comes with a $3 million identity fraud protection plan. There's nothing like this anywhere. And we packaged it together with so much cool stuff that most people most consumers today are purchasing a la carte, and they're purchasing for more than the price of this package. Like from Trend Micro, the malware system, the Micro Maximum Security Program, which is malware protection for your devices. Folks are paying out of pocket for that right now. The Trend Micro VPN, some of you have a VPN right now that you're paying a lot of money for so that you can protect your devices on compromised Wi-Fi's and other places where you're not safe. And also just so that you can access entertainment that's only available in other nations, right? So that you can jump through the geography with the VPN. Privacy management, password. We have a password manager so that for the first time, some of you can have actual robust, high value passwords that are not going to be compromised. Like, in other words, your password doesn't have to be password anymore, or password with one at the end of it, which is not fooling anybody. We give you a great password manager so you can lock all of your passwords behind the wall. Privacy management, credit counseling, and education. Folks, this is a powerful package, and it's priced at $19.95 for an individual, which includes 3 devices for the password for the VPN and 1 for the password manager. And for your whole family, $34.95 a month includes 15 devices on the VPN and 6 on the password manager. And then there's member perks. And I'm about to turn it over here in a second to my business partners, but let me just talk about a couple other things. Member perks. See, when you're a company like ours that has millions of customers, and I think you would agree, we're doing something right if we got millions of customers, right? Well, the biggest brands on planet Earth have approached us about doing business with our customers. So we've come up with a program called Member Perks, and here's what Member Perks does. It allows you to get access as a member of Legal Shield and ID Shield to get access to, frankly, brands you're probably already spending money with anyway. We're talking about hardware and software. We're talking about apparel and travel like rental cars, plane tickets, hotel accommodations, your groceries at Costco, your entertainment like Disney Plus, your cell phones and your cell phone plans. At our house, every month, we save more money with member perks than our investment in our Legal Shield and ID Shield membership, making it a complete no-brainer. Now, I think that's important because I'm here to talk to you about the opportunity. And the opportunity only makes sense if the products that we represent are priced within reach of the people that need our help the most. And as you can see, we're priced incredibly aggressively so that we can help most people in the community. But if we are out of reach of some people, the member perks closes that gap. And let's talk about the business as I wrap up my part of this presentation. Let's talk about compensation. By the way, you're wondering, who do I have to be to win here? Folks, we got people come from real estate retail. My friend Alex Shahid, a student, never had a resume, never went on a job interview, went from a college student, came to Legal Shield as a Millionaire Club member today. My friend Anita Sarda came from traditional business in the Toronto market. We've got salespeople, people from healthcare. We've got folks from every walk of life. As a matter of fact, we have a book. It used to look like a pamphlet. Today it looks like a phone book. And it's the stories of all of our folks that are earning full-time incomes with a part-time, home-based Legal Shield business. So how does this compensation strategy work? Well, it's really simple. Number one, linear income, right? You can enroll people in the services and earn anywhere from $80 to $416. $416 for referring people to the services that I just went over, the Legal Shield and ID Shield package for a family. Let me tell you a quick story because I want to make sure this is clear to you. Because I don't think it's enough for me to say, because some of you are thinking, well, I have to have a robust sales background. I have to have owned businesses before. I was thinking that too when I saw this. Then I understood. And I want to help you understand because here's my story. 30 years ago, I got the membership. 21 years ago, I got involved in the business as a new associate. During that gap in time, there was some magic that happened. Let me share this with you. How about this? The best way to explain it is I'm going to tell you about the first time I used my Legal Shield membership. I was 19 years old. I had just signed up 3 weeks prior, and I was moving. And my landlord told me that I was not getting my security deposit back. Now, he didn't say it nicely, and it didn't feel good when he said it. And by the way, for the landlords in the room, I didn't break the lease. I didn't damage the property. Frankly, I just think he didn't think there was anything I could do about it. And folks, if 3 weeks earlier I hadn't signed up for a Legal Shield plan, he would have been right. There wouldn't have been anything I could have done about it. But I remember signing up for the plan, so I called in to see what my rights were and got a consultation from my attorneys. They told me exactly where I stood legally. They told me exactly, the way I felt, the injustice I felt was merited. I felt heard. I felt respected. Frankly, that was almost enough right there, but that wasn't the whole story. See, they also sent a letter to that landlord. They overnighted it to him to make sure that he got it from them, knowing so that he knew that I was represented by attorneys. And it was a great letter, had their letterhead with all their law firm partners on the top of it, explained the law, explained what they were going to do next. The minute he got that letter, he called me at work and he said, Jim, come and get this check. I don't want any problems from your lawyers. That was powerful. Because listen to me, that happened to me at 19 years old. I have never lived, that was 30 years ago. I've never lived in the American economy. I've never been pushed around. I've never been bullied. I never wondered what to do or who to call ever since that day because I have Legal Shield. That's the business that we're in today. That's the mission that drives us. That's the purpose that we feel every day. But here, let's go back to the story. Do you know what I did at 19 years old when that happened? I told everybody. I told people at work. I told friends and family members. And a lot of people ask me a simple question. How do you get that plan? I want it too. And so my mom got a plan. My grandparents got a plan. People I worked with got a plan. I wasn't even involved in the business. The reason I'm telling you that story tonight is because I just want to submit this to you. Now that you know that Legal Shield and ID Shield exist, you're going to tell other people. You just are. It's the right thing to do. It's always going to be the right thing to do. Why would you let someone suffer silently in injustice when you could help? Of course you're going to help. So all I'm suggesting is join us in the mission, join us in the business, and get compensated when you tell those stories, because that way it's going to be win-win for everybody. Again, anywhere from $80 to $416 just for referring people to the services I went over tonight. And then there's leveraged income, the ability for you to not just share the services, but also share the opportunity. And some people are saying, what do you mean, Jim, when you say refer and share? Listen, we're here. We're here tonight. You can bring people to events like this where we let someone that's experienced like I am do the presentation, which means it's like going to the gym and someone else lifts the weights and you get the muscles. You can just bring guests to the presentation and those guests can come to the presentation, hear the whole story, and get signed up. Isn't that powerful? And we've got events on Zoom every night. We've got events in every city, large and small, across the map every day or throughout the weeks. big training events every month in every major city, international events that happen throughout the year. It's a powerful model. But let me get back to leveraged income. Who do you know today that would enjoy getting a new income stream into their household without having to necessarily leave their house? Because with a home-based Legal Shield business, you can create a new income stream without having to solve the problems that come with traditionally creating a new income stream. Like to get a second job, you've got to solve for commuting, childcare. And by the time some of that gets worked out, it ends up not being worth it. You can't get ahead. That's why so many people are stuck on the hamster wheel, focused on, trying to get out of the rat race. But with a Legal Shield business, you can create an income from home while you stay home, which means you don't have to solve for childcare. You don't have to solve for the commuting. You can start creating income right away. This business pays 7 days a week by direct deposit, and it pays 1 year advance commissions. So with that power in place, you can share not only the membership, but you can also share the opportunity. And when people join you in the opportunity, not only do they get compensated for referring members, but you get something called an override when the people in your team that you've referred into the business, when they are referring people to the membership. And then residual income, being able to get paid month after month, year after year, decade after decade for every active membership. What that does is that creates wealth creating opportunities for the people that are watching here tonight. And folks, I don't want you to think that story I told you about the guy that signed me up that's been getting a check for the last 30 years is like a once in a lifetime story. In this month, listen to me carefully, not someday in the past, not hopefully someday in the future. In this month, November of 2025, 30,000 Legal Shield associates are earning a residual income check this month. That's history. That's proof. And this is our compensation strategy. And one of the things that I got so excited about when I saw this is that I had traditional employment before becoming a business owner with Legal Shield. And frankly, I'd ask for raises. I'd ask for more hours. I'd ask for promotions. And I got turned down every single time. I don't know if you can relate to that, but that was my situation. And I knew even if I did get a raise and I did get a promotion, what I was going to have to do is work more and take on more responsibility. But I was willing to do it because I was trying to get ahead. But in our compensation strategy, you don't work more hours or take on more responsibility to earn more income. You just protect people and you get promoted. You promote yourself through the compensation plan. So look at the center of the screen. As a new associate getting started, you're earning $80 when you refer people to the services I just went over. That's powerful, right? You're earning upfront commission and it's dropped into your bank account 7 days a week. Not the first, not the 15th, not the third blue moon. It comes in on a daily basis, creating cash flow for your family. I don't know about you, but I get bills in the mail every day. It's nice to get direct deposits from the company every day as well. But you know how you move from associate to senior associate, from $80 to $100? You just protect a few families. And now you're earning more money for the same activity. Protect a few more, move up to manager, $132. Same activity, not more hours, not more responsibility, same activity, more income. At senior director, $331. At executive director, $416. Same activity, more income. What if you referred 10 families a month as an executive director? We're talking about $4,160 a month. And that's not changing careers. That's not moving around your whole life and your family and your schedule. That's something you can do around your existing life. You can do it part-time. You can do it slices of time. You can do it in stolen moments. You can do it in the nooks and crannies of your life. And that's the center of our compensation plan. That's for referring people. Isn't that powerful? And then on the far left-hand side, we've got incentives and bonuses. Now, we've got a ton of them. I don't have time to go over tonight, but I will tell you about our Fast Start bonus, because if you're joining us in the business coming out of this presentation, you're going to be eligible for Fast Start bonuses of $700. What do you have to do? You just get plugged into the training right away. Get actively inviting people to presentations like this right away so folks can get a Legal Shield and ID Shield plan for themselves and their families, so folks can join us in the business, and you're going to be able to qualify for those bonuses as well. And then on the right-hand side, this is the leverage component, team overrides. This is the power of our business model, because our most established, seasoned associates, our leaders and our mentors, the folks that have been around the longest and have done the most, are here acting as trainers, coaches, and advisors to help you win and to help you build a team so that you can earn anywhere from $20 up to $336 in leverage income, team overrides, when members of your team refer people to these services as well. So, folks, I showed you our services. They're serious. I'm serious about bringing equal access to justice to every corner of my community and across the US and Canada, and helping you do the same. Same thing with ID Shield. I mean, 30,000 people are going to become victims today, 30,000 become victims tomorrow, and we're only getting in front of a handful of them to protect them right now. We need more people telling the story. So what we do is serious. The compensation is serious. We've got folks earning a full-time income from home without any of the bureaucracy or the politics or the baggage that they would normally have to endure. But we also like to have fun. We have a program called Performance Club, and Performance Club is really kind of one of our fun parts of the business, more fun than ever because we get to go on trips all over the world. And that's a trip that you can qualify for, you and a guest, your airfare, your accommodations, all your food, all your fun, deluxe resorts, all expenses paid, no expenses spared. We do this every year. And you might be thinking, well, okay, I've seen things like this. They probably take the top 10, maybe even the top 15 people. Nope, the last time we did this, when we did this last year, they took 700 of us on this trip. So we would love to have you start walking the beaches of the world with us on these Performance Club trips. I think you need a vacation, and you haven't vacationed until you've done it with us. And the Performance Club also comes with a monthly cash bonus, which rewards consistency, not top production. We've got top production awards as well, but these are consistency based. Just protect 3 or 4 families a month, but do it every month and earn anywhere from $200 to $300 to $400 to $500 every month, up to an additional $6,000 a year in this one incentive. Folks, that second job I got at the mall, running a register at the GNC store, didn't pay me an extra $6,000 a year, but this one incentive from our company does. So, as I said, I was going to get out of the way. I've been promising that for a few minutes. Let's do that. Let me take you to some of my business partners to share their stories. I'm going to start by going to the state of New Hampshire to Miss Yvette Eldridge.
Thank you, Mr. Tanner. I'm really glad to be here and honored that you even asked me. So, friends, I live in a small town of 1,200 people in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, and I often joke that there are more moose than people. But my background's in corporate America working for a healthcare company. I worked very long hours that often included weekends and even holidays. I was laid off just shy of vesting in my retirement and losing it, which was a really tough pill to swallow. Fast forward, I was introduced to this service while I was a stay-at-home foster mom. I learned that I could get paid for sharing the service with others, and which was something I was doing anyway. And I've since turned this part-time side job into full-time income. Now, I make more money than I did after 24 years in corporate America. I love waking up on Monday mornings, being my own boss and working from home. I collaborate with amazing people many who've become like family to me. I'm rebuilding my retirement, which I thought was once lost, which is a really big deal. And the best part, I'm proud to be a part of something that's bigger than myself. So now I get to make a real difference while earning a living. So I don't think it just gets any better than that. So back to you, Mr. Tanner, and thank you for allowing me to share.
Eldridge, thank you very much. Let's stay in the New England area with another one of my neighbors. We'll go here in Massachusetts to Edna Sewak. Edna?
Thank you so much, Mr. Tanner. Good evening, everybody. My name is Edna from the great state of Massachusetts. My journey started about 4 years ago, and it was amazing. But at the time, I really needed some help. I needed some extra money to pay for my daughter's daycare because my husband didn't want me or himself to get a second job just because there wasn't enough hours in the day. And I saw this opportunity, and I was blown away. I was like, I can make money at home and I can be able to pay for daycare and the services are amazing. Where do I sign up? And I've just been going out of the gate. These bonuses are real. The support that they've given me throughout my journey has been incredible. I've been supported on every single platform. I've been encouraged. I came for money, but I found a community of people that want me to win. I've even had another child in the process, and we don't worry about daycare fees anymore. Thank you, Mr. Tanner. Back to you.
Thank you very much. I got time for one more as we're wrapping up. Let's go to Alabama. I don't want you to think everybody's in New England. So let's go down to Alabama to Mr. Donnie Miller. Donnie?
All right. How's everybody today there? And thank you, Mr. Tanner, for allowing me to share tonight. I really appreciate it. My name's Donnie Miller, and I'm from Orange Beach, Alabama. Before Legal Shield, I spent most of my career in some form of sales, and the past 20 years of it was in sales and management roles in the automotive world. Now how Legal Shield found me is it took 7 career builder resume emails before I finally opened one and acknowledged what was in it. And thankfully, my sponsor, Von Steele, never gave up and kept sending me those emails. Man, that's why I'm here tonight. But what immediately attracted me to Legal Shield, what really caught my attention was the chance to work 100% remotely with a proven 53-year-old company, and genuinely helping people while building something flexible and lasting. The team is supportive, the system is simple, and the success really comes from plugging in, following, and trusting the process and the system. And if you're watching here tonight and taking it all in, I get it. I sat there once too, just seeing what it was about. But what helped me was simply leaning in, learning, and taking the next step when it felt right. And you do the same at your pace. It made a huge difference for me, and it will for you as well. Thank you, Mr. Tanner and team, for allowing me to share tonight.
Donnie, thank you very much. And folks, as I'm wrapping up tonight, I can fill the whole night. I don't mean the next few minutes. I mean the entire evening with stories like this. We've got so many great stories to share, which we do when we do these different events. But I just wanted to acknowledge that for the sake of time, I really only went over our Legal Shield and ID Shield flagship products tonight. But we also have add-ons that really speak to all the needs in the community in a flexible way. Like we have plans for gun owners, plans for police and fire departments, teachers. We have plans for folks that drive Uber and Lyft, and we'll get more into that in the training. How many of you know commercial drivers, the people who drive 18-wheelers? They drive our economy by driving the goods across the map, where their license is their livelihood. Well, we have a plan in place to protect those drivers. We have the ability to help businesses attract and retain the best employees by bringing Legal Shield and ID Shield onto the job site and enrolling their employees, helping them reduce stress and live their lives virtually worry-free. What it does for us is it gives us a chance to sign people up by the dozens, sometimes by the hundreds, even by the thousands all at once through an employee benefits package on the job site. And then for small business owners, let me just mention this, because your small business owners in your community are the lifeblood of that small business community, right? That's Main Street USA. And here's the reality is they are competing against Fortune 500 competitors. What if you could give them the same legal muscle that their competition already enjoys? Wouldn't that level the playing field? Wouldn't that make you the hero of their story? That's exactly what we're doing with our small business plans every single day. So I shared this slide with you earlier, the 5 areas to evaluate. Let's just go over it quickly because I'm out of time. The company started from a need, not from greed. 53 years in business, we have proven the test of time. Now I know that most people get excited about startups, and there's a lot of people talking about ground floor opportunities, but most startups never start up. Most ground floor opportunities never get off the ground. We're talking about something stable and has already proven it's going to be around. Does the product make sense? I mean, ask yourself, is there a need for what we offer in the community? Legal Shield and ID Shield just makes sense when people see it. We're not famous. We're not Nike. And by the way, if we were Nike or Pepsi or Coca-Cola, the opportunity would have passed you by. What we are is self-evident. When people see Legal Shield, they understand immediately that it's something that makes sense, that they should have, and they often wonder how they didn't hear about it already. There is a true need in the marketplace. People are standing in the streets and demanding tonight that their voices be heard. And the compensation is real. With 1-year advance commission, the ability to get paid every day, 7 days a week, to create an ongoing residual book of business, that's a powerful compensation package. And then incentives and bonuses and trips on top of that makes it a complete no-brainer in the timing. I know some of you are wondering, hey, maybe I needed to get started when Harlan Stonecipher started. Maybe I need to wait 5 more years. How do I know this is the right time? In 2024, we signed up over 500,000 people for this membership. That's more than we signed up in the first 20 years we were in business combined. This is the moment. People are understanding today the value proposition of what we have. The only limit to our growth right now is there's just not enough of us telling the story. So we'd love for you to join us, become an associate, create your own schedule. Time freedom and financial freedom is available to you. You build the business from home, but actually from anywhere. You're creating a willable book of business. You have fast start training classes that we're going to help you take that $700 in bonus money that's on the table, take it off the table and put it in your pocket. Ongoing weekly training, both in your community at live events, as well as virtually on Zoom, and alignment with personal mentors. Our sponsor model means that you're going to be working with people who've already done exactly what you want to do in a business that you can launch for only $99. So, folks, I'm out of time. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to get back to the person that invited you tonight. They're going to make sure that you get your questions answered. Every one of the leaders are standing by, ready to take calls. So we want to get your questions answered if you have any. I understand also that a lot of you are like, this answered my questions. I'm ready to go. So we're going to get you enrolled in Legal Shield and ID Shield. That's step one, so that you can enjoy the protection. We want you to have the same protection that we're talking about, excited about tonight for yourself and your family if you have one. We're also going to get you set up as an associate for that one-time $99 setup fee. You're in business, and you're in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. And the third step, it says opportunity to get paid daily. Well, that's absolutely true. We're going to get you plugged into the training, the support, and the mentorship so that you can run if you're ready to run, walk if you'd like to walk, but however you want to do it, we're going to meet you right where you want to be. Folks, I'm out of time. Thanks to everybody that shared and helped me out tonight with the presentation. Thanks to all of you for joining us. And for those of you that are going to join us in the business, that you're saying, yes, I get it, Jim, I'm with you. Equal access to justice is a mission that is worth pursuing. I get it. This is an opportunity for entrepreneurship for me and the people I share this good news with. For those of you that are getting started tonight, congratulations. Welcome to the team. Welcome to Legal Shield. Good night, everybody.